Hi, welcome back. Tape Glasses Guy here. Today I thought we'd just do this a bit off the cuff. I've not scripted any of this, so I just, want to talk about some things. Well, one thing in particular, really. It's been on my mind for a little while, actually, and this came across my way, and I thought, well, yeah, I'm going to do a little bit, kind of like a reaction, and just really my thoughts on this whole subject, really. And that is this Daily Mail Online article. By Peter Hitchens, Why England Should Leave the UK Instead of Persuading the Others to Stay and Embrace a Golden Future. Well, this is something, I've been thinking about for quite a while myself. And I think there's a lot to be said for it, because at the end of the day, I'm absolutely I don't know about anybody else, but I'm fucking sick and tired of these fucking Scottish National Party, Pl.Cymru fucking arseholes trying to just fucking put a spanner in the UK constantly, over and over and over and over again. They just want out, they want out, they want out, they want out. And we keep being told by other people, those that aren't necessarily within the SNP or Pl.Cymru, well, the majority of people in Wales, the majority of people in Scotland, they want to stay. In the UK, they don't want to leave and all this. And, there's a character that you come across quite a bit, Neil Oliver, on GB News mostly now. He used to be on Talk Radio quite a lot. But anyway, you see him on there, and he's a great guy. I really respect him, and, I agree with a lot of what he says. He talks a lot of sense. But, he sees himself as British, apparently, and all this kind of thing, and that's great, fantastic, and quite frankly, I genuinely do believe, all my English friends, obviously I'm English, all my English friends, we all love Scotland, we all love Wales, we don't want them to leave. However, there does come a point where you start to think to yourself, now look, we can go on and on and on and on and on like this, over and over again with this independence votes, Pl.Cymru wanting a similar thing for Wales, these parties aren't telling their own people the truth. Secondly, the way I feel, and I think an increasing amount of Englishmen are feeling the same way, and English women, of course, are all feeling the same way. And, essentially, I think a lot of us are starting to get to a point where we're thinking, you know what, fuck them. Go. You're that desperate to fucking want out, then fucking go. Because we've had enough. We're sick and tired of paying for you. We're sick and tired of the shit poor results we get for the money that we're paying. And let's be under no illusion. In Wales, in Scotland, they're not paying for their own fucking systems. They have their, in Scotland they have essentially properly full free healthcare, full free prescriptions, all the rest of it. Who's paying for that? It ain't the fucking Scots paying for it. Yes, they contribute to it, but they're not paying for it. It's the English that are essentially paying for it. That's the mass of the population are in England. The mass of the population paying taxes are in England. We're paying per person GDP. Scotland and Wales are receiving more money than the English receive. And these parties, the SNP, Pl.Cymru, all these people, Labour in Wales, they're not telling their people this. They're not making them aware of this. They're not making them aware of the reality of independence for their own countries, in that they're going to be so poor if they actually become independent. If England was to say, say we were to turn around and say, well, fuck off then. No more freaking handouts. No more cash whatsoever. We put a hard border between our countries, so you're not just freely travelling in and out to get your cheaper stuff and all the rest of it, and just basically sit in England and just watch, sit and laugh at the fucking idiots as their countries collapse around them, which is exactly what would happen. And anybody with a rational mind would know this is what would happen. You'd have to be an idiot to think otherwise, because they just simply cannot generate sufficient tax to pay the stuff that they're already giving their people. And they're offering them more as an independent state. And it just does not work. But anyway, that's kind of a little bit of a rant from me, because, it's just what I fucking do here, I suppose. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch. I hope you do like it. I hope you consider clicking that subscribe button and maybe click the like and leave a comment for me. Ching ching, hint hint, Anyway, let's have a quick look at this. I'm not really going to go through the whole article because it's a little bit on the long side for this video. But, as Peter's saying here, what are we waiting for? All the other nations of the UK are set on tearing themselves away from England. I've given up trying to persuade them to stay. Let us leave them instead. And that's kind of what I've just been saying, really. I don't necessarily think we need a referendum. I think they could just do it. I think most people wouldn't give a shit, to be honest with you. Because we're just so sick of hearing it from the SNP. It's just crazy. And another point, of course, with the SNP, they have the worst drug death record in Europe. the poorest of the education statistics within the whole of the UK, the poorest health outcomes within the whole of the UK, and they just never tell us. Apparently, the people voting SNP are fucking insane. But anyway, let's get on with this. You call this independence since England has never depended on. You couldn't call it independence since England has never depended on the other countries of these islands, which is absolutely true. It's kind of what I've just been saying, I guess. Call it restoration of England. He goes on about the Englishness of it all, becoming a sovereign nation in our own right again, all this kind of stuff. And it comes. You see, a lot of this as well comes back to the flag thing and the celebrating our patron saints. You have St. Patrick's Day in Ireland, obviously, but you also have St. David's Day and St. Andrew's Day in Scotland and wherever. And they're all allowed to celebrate these things openly and without any, fear of, negative comments or, discrimination against them. Yeah, but this isn't the case for England, is it? If we celebrate St. George, we get the English flag out and stuff, you're instantly a right-wing fucking neo-Nazi. It's absolutely insane. I mean, me doing this video probably makes me a right-wing neo-Nazi. I'm probably on a fucking terror list, just for doing this shit. But, that's how insane it all is. But anyway, let's move on. Let's go. So he's going on here, the Queen of England, we have the Church of England, many of our government ministries nowadays only operate in England. Break up the BBC and the creating of a new English broadcasting corporation would be a superb opportunity for desperately needed reform. Well, quite frankly, Peter, I think the BBC in entirety just needs breaking up. And the idea of an English broadcasting corporation, nah, that doesn't work either, I'm afraid. I'm really sorry, but anyway, here we have this part here that I've highlighted. I wanted to read this part because it kind of gives you a little bit of pride in England, I guess. And again, it's quite true as well. So let's have a quick read of it. Personally, I think the great years of our global power are thrilling and inspiring, and agree with the conclusion of the Spanish-American philosopher George Santayana on Britain's imperial era, that never since the days of heroic Greece has the world had such a sweet, just, boyish master. It will be a black day for the human race when scientific blackguards, conspirators, churls, and fanatics manage to supplant him. No doubt many wicked things were done by our empire, but compare it with the Soviet, Belgian, Spanish, and Portuguese empires of the past, or with the hideous Chinese empire of the future, and you might then concede that if there must be empires, and it looks very much as if this is so, ours was better by far than any other that had ever existed. And I think, this kind of exemplifies, the sentiments that I have for England, and actually in all honesty, for the UK itself, really. Because we definitely are stronger together. I'm not saying we're not, but, we have to be realistic as well. Like I said before, the tax does come from England. It is very much an English thing. And he goes on, basically just a patriotic piece really about England, I guess, more than anything. We go through some various things, people say there's something racist about Englishness. Well, I'm all sorts of mongrel myself, and I was never born here. But in the middle of the Mediterranean, and I do not think myself once 1 ounce less English as a result. And that's quite true. You don't have to have been born here to be considered English these days. You just have to be patriotic to the nation that you now live in, that you now want to build your life in. That's all we ask for. That's all we ask for from immigrants. And when they're not doing that, we'll leave aside the illegal migration that happens en masse these days. But, immigration in itself, I know quite a few, Portuguese where I live and, former East Europeans that live here now, and they're nice people. They're really lovely people, and some of them are integrating within society, and they seem to do so much better for themselves than the others that kind of sit within their own groups, and don't integrate and don't want to become more English, if you know what I mean, more British even. And I think that's something that they need to do, and I think, in regards to this subject, Scottish and the Welsh that are pro-Pl.Cymru in Wales and pro-SNP in Scotland, they need to wake up and have a bloody good look in the mirror and see what they have actually got as being part of the UK, what benefits there actually are in receipt of by being in this glorious United Kingdom. Instead of focusing on the negatives that they're being force-fed by the likes of, Nicola McCranky and Mark fucking Teetotal Drakeford in Wales, that are just crazy and absolute insanity. Some of the stuff that these people come out with, it's just absolutely insane. Anyway, before we go, I just want to have a quick show. Let me zoom in on here so you can see it for yourself. This is, from the House of Commons Library. This is an official documentation here. Let me just have a look. Let's zoom in. Right. Let's see. Should be able to see this a little bit better now. So we see current and capital spending per person by country and region of the UK. So we'll leave this aside for the time being, and we'll look at it per nation. So here we see this is the amount spent over between 2022 and 2021 per person of capital spending on each individual. So obviously we can see there Northern Ireland at the top, £14,032 per person. Scotland, not that far behind on 13,118. Wales on 12,889. And here we are, little old England that's paying for fucking everything. What are we getting per person? Oh, 11,783. I'm not one to split hairs about these things, but I'm more than happy that this is the situation. I don't have a real issue with that particularly. I only have an issue with it when you have the likes of SNP, Pl.Cymru and all these arseholes that are just constantly battering on about how rubbish and how crap it is to be part of the UK. That's what really gets my goat. But anyway, that's all I've got for now. Please enjoy the rest of the content. I'm going to stick a little video on here from Andrew Lawrence, another YouTuber, banned comedian that nobody likes anymore, was ostracised because he's not politically correct. So I don't know whether you've actually checked out his videos. I'm going to stick a video on the end of here. I hope Andrew doesn't mind. Obviously, if there's a problem, I can edit this at another time and remove it should he wish to, or anybody else. But I'm going to stick it on the end of this video for you to enjoy. It's only a couple of minutes, I think. And it's basically about him being shadow banned on YouTube. So if you've not checked him out, I'll put a link in the description. So by all means, check out his channel. He's a very funny guy. He always posts pretty much every day, I think. There's a funny little 1-2 minute clip that he gives you, and about current events, and he is quite fucking funny. Anyway, do enjoy that. I hope to publish some more content this week, possibly something tomorrow or Monday. It's Sunday today. So possibly tomorrow I should hopefully might get something up. It just depends. I'm having a drink tomorrow, so I could end up a bit pissed before I do it. So if I do put something up, it might get a slightly different video. But anyway, take care of yourselves out there. Pray for us all, as I'm kind of going to say, I think, at the end of these videos from now on. But anyway, all the best, and yeah, take care of yourselves.
I've been shadow banned by a blue-haired cunt from Silicon Valley. I've got 74,000 followers on Twitter, but this video will only be seen by 10 of them. My content's been restricted, it's been hidden, it's been censored by their creepy fucking algorithm. I've been shadow banned by a blue-haired cunt from Silicon Valley. She's got cats, she's a vegan, she was born with a penis, she's on strong anti-anxiety medication. She's a he, him, she, it, they, them, sie, them. Don't you dead name her, don't you slut shame her, don't you ever invade her safe space. Don't tell a joke that hurts her feelings, she'll come up on stage and slap your face. Shadow banned by a blue-haired cunt from Silicon Valley. She's got 2 massive hairy testicles, but she identifies as a woman because she's got a very loose grip on reality. You can't say that. Words of violence. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequence. You broke the rules, you told the truth, and now you're cancelled. I hope you die alone, homeless and hungry, on a park bench, shadow banned by a blue-haired cunt from Silicon Valley. By a blue-haired cunt, by a blue-haired cunt, a blue-haired cunt. a blue-haired cunt, a blue-haired cunt from Silicon Valley.